There's a bottle sitting somewhere in your home right now. Maybe in the kitchen cabinet above the stove. Maybe on the bathroom counter next to your blood pressure medication. The one you actually remember to grab every single morning before breakfast. It says fish oil on the label. It has a heart on it. It probably says something like, supports heart health, or pure omega-3, or triple strength. You've been buying it for years. You trust it. Your doctor may have even mentioned it once during a routine checkup, something about omega-3s being good for the heart. And that was all the confirmation you needed. But here's what nobody told you. And I mean nobody. Not the pharmacist, not the label, not the cheerful advertising. A significant portion of the fish oil capsules Americans swallow every single day may not be delivering what the label promises. Some have failed independent laboratory testing. Some have been described by researchers as rancid before they even reach your body. Some have faced class action lawsuits accusing their manufacturers of selling a product that, from a chemical standpoint, is no longer technically fish oil at all. And some brands you recognize, brands that have been marketed on television for years, have received formal warning letters from the FDA. I spent weeks going deep on this, not reading press releases, not trusting the supplement company's own marketing. I went through Consumer Lab independent testing reports, Consumer Reports investigations, published peer-reviewed studies from George Washington University, class action lawsuit filings, FDA warning letters, and Science Direct research on oxidation levels across the most popular American brands. And what I found changed the way I look at that little soft gel capsule completely. Today I'm walking you through 7 specific fish oil brands millions of Americans trust right now, and I'm going to show you exactly what independent testing and legal records found about each one. Then, at the very end, I'll tell you about the only 2 brands that consistently passed rigorous third-party testing with real verified omega-3 content. 2 brands that nutrition professionals actually recommend when they're not being paid to say anything. If you have a bottle of fish oil in your home right now, and roughly 1 in 10 American adults does, you'll want to stay all the way through this. Let's start with something that almost nobody in the supplement industry wants to talk about openly. Fish oil is one of the most chemically fragile substances you can put in a capsule. Omega-3 fatty acids, specifically the EPA and DHA that your body actually uses, are polyunsaturated fats. And polyunsaturated fats oxidize. They go rancid. They break down the moment they're exposed to heat, light, or oxygen during the manufacturing process. By the time the oil is extracted from the fish, processed, concentrated, packed into a soft gel, shipped to a warehouse, shipped to a store, placed on a shelf, and then sat in your cabinet for another 3 months before you notice the expiration date, a lot can happen to that oil. When fish oil oxidizes, the omega-3 molecules that were supposed to help your heart and brain begin to break down into compounds called aldehydes, peroxides, and other byproducts of fat degradation. Researchers at George Washington University published a study in 2023, finding that the vast majority of fish oil supplements they tested showed signs of being oxidized, not slightly oxidized. Many exceeded international freshness thresholds significantly. Here's the part that should make you pause. If you're swallowing rancid fish oil every morning, thinking you're protecting your heart, you may actually be doing the opposite. Several researchers have raised the concern that consuming highly oxidized fats could contribute to inflammation in the body. And inflammation is the very thing cardiovascular patients are trying to avoid. That's the baseline. That's what the science says about the category in general. Now let's talk about specific brands, the ones sitting on the shelves of Walmart, CVS, GNC, and Target right now. Brand number 1, Spring Valley, Walmart's private label. Spring Valley is Walmart's in-house supplement brand. It's everywhere. If you've ever walked through the vitamin aisle at your local Walmart, you've seen those bright yellow and white bottles stacked up near the pharmacy section. It's positioned as an affordable, accessible option. Many families on a budget trust it because it's convenient, it's cheap, and it's right there. But here's what happened when the lawyers got involved. In 2024, a class action lawsuit was filed in the Northern District of California against Walmart directly. The lawsuit alleged that Walmart had been misrepresenting the heart health benefits of its Spring Valley omega-3 fish oil supplements on the packaging. Specifically, the complaint pointed out that the FDA requires any supplement making cardiovascular health claims to carry a very specific disclaimer, one that says, in plain language, that the research is supportive but not conclusive. That disclaimer, according to the lawsuit, was absent from the packaging. Consumers buying this product based on its prominent heart symbol and heart health language were, the lawsuit argued, being misled. There's also the matter of what's actually inside the capsule. A study published in Science Direct examined ingredient label claim compliance and oxidative quality across popular U.S. fish oil brands. Spring Valley was among those evaluated. Notably, the researchers found that the EPA and DHA content were not specified on the Spring Valley fish oil label, meaning consumers had no way of knowing from the packaging exactly how much of the beneficial omega-3 compounds they were actually receiving per dose. Think about that. You're buying a supplement for a specific health reason. You believe you're getting a certain amount of a specific nutrient, and the label doesn't even tell you how much of that nutrient is inside. Walmart fought back against the lawsuit, and a federal judge ultimately dismissed the heart disease advertising claims, citing federal regulation preemption. But the larger picture of a product with missing label information and aggressive health marketing aimed at budget-conscious consumers remained deeply uncomfortable to anyone paying attention. Brand number 2, GNC Triple Strength Fish Oil. GNC has been a trusted name in American supplement culture for decades. Walk into any strip mall in the country and you'll likely find one. Their Triple Strength Fish Oil is one of their flagship omega-3 products. It sounds serious. It sounds medical grade. Triple strength implies potency, precision, quality. Then came the lawsuit. In 2021, a class action was filed in federal court in California against International Vitamin Corporation and its subsidiary, Nutra Manufacturing, the companies that actually manufacture the GNC-branded fish oil. The lawsuit made a claim that, frankly, stopped a lot of people cold when they heard it. It alleged that the GNC triple-strength fish oil did not contain, in the words of the filing, a single milligram of EPA or DHA in the form that naturally occurs in fish. Let that settle. The lawsuit centered on a manufacturing process called transesterification, a chemical procedure used to concentrate omega-3s and produce what's known as ethyl ester fish oil. Here's the simple version. When natural fish oil goes through this chemical process, an industrial solvent is introduced, followed by ethanol. The natural triglyceride structure of the fish oil, the form the human body evolved to recognize and absorb, is stripped away. What comes out on the other side is a synthetic compound. The omega-3s are still technically present, but they're now bound to an ethyl group, which is a chemical structure that doesn't exist naturally in fish. The lawsuit argued this product should not be called fish oil at all, and it noted something striking. U.S. Customs and Border Protection taxes this chemically altered compound at a different rate than real fish oil precisely because, from a regulatory standpoint, it's recognized as a different substance. GNC's manufacturer contested the lawsuit vigorously. The legal outcome was complicated. Some claims were dismissed, some remained active, but the underlying science is not disputed. Ethyl ester fish oil is a real thing. It's widely used. It's not necessarily completely without benefit, but the question of whether it deserves to be sold to ordinary consumers, people who believe they're buying the same omega-3s found in a piece of wild salmon, as triple-strength fish oil is a very legitimate one. Brand number 3, Nature's Bounty. Nature's Bounty is one of the most recognizable supplement brands in America. You'll find it in grocery stores, pharmacies, and big box stores across the country. It has a reputation for being a trusted, mainstream wellness brand. For many Americans, especially those who grew up in the era when vitamins were a regular part of the household routine, Nature's Bounty carries a sense of institutional trust. That trust has taken some documented hits. First, Consumer Reports testing found that samples of Nature's Bounty fish oil contained PCB levels in amounts that, under California's Proposition 65 Consumer Protection Law, would require a warning label. The brand claimed to be purified and free of contaminants on its label. But as the FDA itself acknowledged when this finding circulated, those terms have no specific regulatory definition. Companies can make those claims based on their own internal standards, standards the public has no independent way to verify. Then, in 2024, a class action lawsuit was filed against Nestlé Health Science, the company that now owns the Nature's Bounty brand, in the Southern District of New York. The lawsuit alleged that Nature's Bounty had been misleading millions of consumers by making exaggerated cardiovascular health claims about its fish oil supplements. The complaint pointed out that despite heart health being prominently featured on the label, numerous randomized clinical trials have failed to show consistent evidence that fish oil supplements reduce the risk of heart disease in the general population. The label says heart health, the science says at best it's complicated. And when a consumer stands in a pharmacy aisle, reading that label, making a purchase decision for themselves or for someone they love, they deserve to know that distinction. Brand number 4, Kirkland Signature. Costco's Kirkland brand has built an extraordinary reputation for value and quality over the years. Millions of American households trust Kirkland products implicitly. For many people, it's become a shorthand for the reliable choice. But Kirkland's fish oil has quietly accumulated a concerning track record in independent testing. Consumer Reports tested Kirkland Signature fish oil soft gels and found something unexpected. Samples of the enteric coated version, the kind specifically designed to prevent that unpleasant fishy aftertaste by dissolving in the small intestine rather than the stomach, failed the disintegration test. 2 out of the 3 samples tested failed to properly break down in the right location. The coating dissolved in the stomach instead of where it was supposed to. Kirkland responded by noting it had its own testing that contradicted these findings. But when Consumer Reports reached out for comment, the company didn't respond. Separate consumer lab testing in 2023 also listed Kirkland Signature fish oil among products flagged during their review cycle. And in the category of ethyl ester formulation concerns that have swept through the industry more broadly, Kirkland's fish oil product was one of the brands swept up in legal complaints, questioning whether its omega-3 content was accurately represented to consumers. Costco's Kirkland Signature brand may be extraordinary in many product categories, but in the fish oil category specifically, the independent testing record raises enough questions that informed consumers may want to look elsewhere. Brand number 5, Sundown Naturals. Sundown Naturals positions itself as a clean, gentle, affordable supplement brand. Its fish oil product is marketed with soft, approachable branding, natural imagery, warm colors, the kind of packaging that feels trustworthy to people who are just trying to take care of themselves and their families without making a big production of it. Consumer Reports found PCB levels in Sundown Naturals fish oil that fell within the range requiring warning labels under California's strict Proposition 65 consumer protection regulations. The brand's labels claimed the product was purified and free of contaminants. Independent testing suggested otherwise. The Science Direct study examining label compliance and oxidative quality across popular U.S. fish oil brands also evaluated 4 Sundown Naturals products. The researchers noted that none of the 4 Sundown products specified EPA and DHA content on their labels. For a supplement being sold specifically as an omega-3 health product, the absence of that core data point is, to put it gently, difficult to justify. And like several other brands in this space, Sundown's fish oil products were caught up in the broader wave of class action litigation targeting brands that use ethyl ester processing while labeling their products simply as fish oil. Brand number 6, Dr. Tobias Omega-3 Triple Strength. Dr. Tobias is one of the most heavily reviewed and highly rated fish oil supplements on Amazon. If you've ever searched for fish oil online, you've almost certainly seen it. It has tens of thousands of glowing reviews. The marketing is confident, the imagery is clean, and the triple strength branding communicates power and precision to health-conscious shoppers. And yet, in 2021, a class action lawsuit was filed against Mimi's Rock Corp., the company that markets Dr. Tobias supplements, in federal court in California. The lawsuit made the same central allegation as the GNC case, that Dr. Tobias Omega-3 Triple Strength fish oil undergoes transesterification, producing ethyl ester omega-3s that the lawsuit argued do not constitute real fish oil in the way ordinary consumers understand the term. The legal outcome, like the GNC case, has been complicated. On August 26, 2024, the court denied part of the defendant's motion to dismiss, meaning the case remained active. A third amended complaint was filed in September 2024. The litigation was still ongoing as of late 2024. What's particularly striking about the Dr. Tobias situation is the gap between public perception and legal reality. Tens of thousands of consumers left positive reviews on Amazon for a product that was simultaneously being litigated in federal court over whether it even qualifies as the substance it claims to be. Most of those reviewers had no idea. How would they? Nothing on the product page mentioned a lawsuit. Nothing on the label mentioned transesterification. The bottle said, "triple strength fish oil," and that was enough. Brand number 7, Omega XL. Omega XL may be the most aggressively marketed supplement on this entire list. If you watch daytime television, the kind of programming popular with adults over 50 and retirees, you have almost certainly seen the infomercials. Celebrity spokespersons, testimonials from people describing miraculous joint relief. The product is pitched not just as an omega-3 supplement, but as a comprehensive solution to joint pain, inflammation, and mobility problems. It is also, pound for pound, one of the most expensive fish oil products on the market, retailing at roughly $70 to $100 per month, depending on dosage and subscription tier. In June 2021, the FDA issued a formal warning letter to Great Healthworks Inc., the company behind Omega XL, following a review of the company's website. The FDA's finding was direct. Statements made on the website about Omega XL constituted illegal drug claims. The company had been advertising the supplement as capable of treating arthritis, relieving joint pain, and reducing inflammation in ways that crossed the legal line from a dietary supplement claim into a claim that only an approved drug can make. The FDA gave Great Healthworks 15 days to respond and demanded the claims be corrected immediately. Beyond the FDA warning, the National Advertising Division, an independent advertising industry watchdog, also investigated Omega XL's marketing claims and found several of them to be insufficiently supported by evidence. The NAD recommended the company modify or discontinue those claims. And then there's the product composition itself. Consumer Labs' independent testing found that Omega XL contains significantly lower levels of EPA and DHA, the actual beneficial omega-3 compounds, compared to most standard fish oil supplements. The product uses green-lipped mussel oil extract as its primary ingredient, which does contain some omega-3 fatty acids, but in considerably smaller concentrations than conventional fish oil. So you're paying between $70 and $100 a month, potentially 3 to 5 times what other supplements cost, for a product with lower active omega-3 content, a history of FDA regulatory violations, and advertising claims that the government told the company to stop making. Now, after everything I've just walked you through, the oxidation studies, the lawsuits, the FDA warning letters, the missing label information, the ethyl ester questions, you're probably wondering the same thing I was wondering when I started this investigation. Is there anything out there that actually works? Is there a fish oil supplement that's genuinely what it says it is? The answer, based on everything I could find across Consumer Lab independent testing, Healthline's registered dietitian reviews, and multiple third-party certification evaluations is yes. But the list is short. The 2 brands that passed Nordic Naturals. Ultimate Omega Nordic Naturals was founded in 1995, and in the roughly 3 decades since, it has built what nutrition professionals consistently describe as one of the most transparent and rigorously tested supplement brands in the omega-3 space. Here's what makes it different from everything else on this list. Nordic Naturals produces its fish oil in the triglyceride form, the same natural form in which omega-3 fatty acids actually exist inside fish. Not ethyl esters, not a chemically modified concentrate, the actual molecular structure that the human body recognizes and is able to absorb efficiently. This is a meaningful distinction. The human body absorbs triglyceride form omega-3s considerably better than ethyl ester forms, which is precisely why so many premium fish oil manufacturers use the natural triglyceride structure, while lower-end manufacturers opt for the cheaper ethyl ester processing route. Every single batch of Nordic Naturals fish oil is third-party tested, not internally tested, not tested by a lab with a financial relationship with the company, third-party verified. The certificates of analysis, the actual lab results showing purity, potency, and freshness numbers, are available from the company on request. Their products consistently surpass the strict international freshness standards set by the European Pharmacopoeia and the IFOS program, Independent testing has found undetected levels of heavy metals, dioxins, and PCBs in Nordic Naturals products, tested at thresholds 10 times below the relevant safety standards. When Consumer Lab reviewed Nordic Naturals in its 2023 omega-3 supplement testing cycle, the product passed. Healthline's dietitian review team named Nordic Naturals Ultimate Omega its top overall pick for fish oil supplements. Registered dietitians across multiple independent publications consistently rank it at or near the top of the category. It isn't cheap. You'll spend more per bottle than you would on Spring Valley or Nature's Bounty, but the documentation, the transparency, and the independent testing record suggest you're actually receiving what you pay for. Carlson, the very finest fish oil. Carlson Labs has been in the supplement business for decades, and its fish oil products carry something that many of the brands on this list either lack or cannot claim: IFOS certification. IFOS, the International Fish Oil Standards Program, is the only third-party testing and certification system created exclusively for fish oil supplements. It tests for purity, potency, and freshness. It tests for heavy metals, PCBs, oxidation levels, and actual EPA and DHA content relative to label claims. Brands submit voluntarily, which means participation itself signals a certain level of confidence in what's inside the bottle. Carlson has received a 5-star IFOS rating, the highest available, on more than 30 of its omega-3 products. 30. For a brand that has been rigorously and independently tested across dozens of formulations and consistently come out at the top of the scale, that's a meaningful track record. The very finest fish oil in particular is available in liquid form, which several nutrition professionals actually prefer because it eliminates the soft gel casing altogether, reduces the risk of the oxidation that can accumulate inside a sealed capsule over time, and allows for easier dose adjustment. Carlson uses a lemon or orange flavoring to make it pleasant to take. The sourcing is from wild-caught, sustainably harvested fish. The EPA and DHA content is clearly labeled. The IFOS certification is publicly verifiable. Multiple registered dietitian review panels across Healthline, Yahoo Health, and other independent sources have named Carlson among the top 2 or 3 fish oil supplements on the market. And importantly, unlike most of the brands covered earlier in this video, Carlson has not appeared in class action lawsuits over ingredient misrepresentation. It has not received FDA warning letters. It has not been flagged in independent testing for PCB contamination or oxidation failures. Here's what I want you to take from all of this. This isn't about being afraid of supplements. It's not about never taking fish oil again. Omega-3 fatty acids, when they're real and when they're fresh, have a meaningful body of research behind them supporting cardiovascular and cognitive health benefits. The problem isn't the nutrient. The problem is that the supplement industry in the United States operates under a framework where products don't require FDA approval before they're sold, where a company can put purified or PCB-free on a label without having to meet any government-defined standard for what those words mean, where a product can be marketed with a bold heart symbol and heart health language, while simultaneously being the subject of active litigation over whether those claims have any scientific backing. The system was designed for companies to operate on the honor system, and as the testing records and lawsuits reviewed in this video show, not all of them are honoring it. What you can do is simple. Look at what's in your cabinet right now. Look at the brand name. Look at whether the EPA and DHA content is actually listed on the label, and if it isn't, that alone should give you serious pause. Look for whether the product carries independent third-party certification, IFOS, USP verification, or a certificate of analysis from an independent lab. Ask yourself whether the brand you're using has appeared in any of the independent testing results I described today. And if you find yourself holding one of the 7 bottles I covered in this video, a bottle you've been trusting for years, a bottle you may have recommended to your spouse or your elderly parent or your adult child, you might want to start asking harder questions before your next purchase. The label says fish oil. Whether what's inside actually deserves that name is, as it turns out, a much more complicated question than any of us were ever told. Before I go, I want to ask you something directly because this community matters to me, and your experience is something I genuinely want to hear. What brand of fish oil have you been taking? Drop it in the comments below. Has it ever crossed your mind to question what's actually inside? Have you ever smelled a fish oil capsule after cutting one open, that sharp, almost chemical odor that some of them give off, and wondered if something was off? A lot of people I've talked to have had that instinct for years. They just didn't know what to do with it. Now you do. If this investigation opened your eyes to something you didn't know before, consider sharing it with someone who takes fish oil. A parent, a spouse, a friend who's been religiously swallowing that Kirkland Softgel every morning for the past decade, thinking it's protecting their heart. They deserve to know what we know now. And if you want to keep following investigations like this one, where we go past the label, past the marketing, and into the actual records, you know what to do. There's a lot more to cover. We haven't even gotten to the antidepressants, or the antihistamines, or the pain relievers that tens of millions of Americans take every single night without the faintest idea what 3 decades of use might actually be doing inside their bodies. That's coming. Stay close.